Well, here we go. Day one, it's in the books. We got night number 2 coming up, day number 3 coming up. But before that, we got to chat about it. Yo! What's happening, everybody? Here we go. It's Too Much Fantasy Football on Too Much Fantasy Football and the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We're everywhere today. Brian and Brennen back at it again, and we've got Bradley in here to help us digest all of the fun and wackiness that went down yesterday. Brennen, how you doing today, man?
I feel like I'm doing better than the Rams fans that I had to hear them yell some very vulgar things while I was at the bar, because I was with a bunch of Raiders fans. So like, they already gave me a bunch of shots, which I get it. You know, Fernando, they're very excited. I bought my boy Jamarcus Russell, signed auto card, brought it there. He ripped it up. It's like it's a new era. And then, we see the Ty Simpson draft, and we were just, they were just, for some reason, the Raiders fans just thought it was the smartest thing to just laugh at the Rams fans. And I'm just like, I don't think that's how it works.
A little ahead of the ball there.
Yeah.
Bradley, appreciate you being on here with us today. It's going to be fun. We got to, chatted up a little last night, but how you doing today?
Thanks, Brennan. Thanks, Brian, for having me on. It's great to be here. My first time on Too Much Fantasy Football, which is not factually true. There's no such thing as Too Much Fantasy Football. We are here to bring all the goodness. Like, it felt like Christmas last night, only this is better than Christmas because it lasts for 3 nights. We get to unwrap the gifts that are given to us by the NFL. We get to see where all the landing spots are. This is so much fun. We spend months and months and months discussing possible landing spots, who could go where, what are the ramifications, and then we get the truth. Teams tell us the truth. Finally, we don't have to believe any coach speak. Actions speak louder than words, and the team spoke very loudly last night with some of their selections. So I'm excited to dive in with the two of you today.
You talk about it being Christmas, and I mean, aptly so. As Colts and Packers fans here, we essentially just watched our other friends celebrate Hanukkah last night. They're getting multiple nights of gifts. We didn't get any last night. We had to wait till the next night. Here will be our Christmas, where we're pulling in some picks. 7 teams didn't make a first-round pick yesterday. The Bills being the other team that didn't give up their first-round pick but traded out there at the very end. Bizarre set. Like, we're going to get through some of these trades as we get it, but it was absolutely bonkers. Just the 5 of 6 trades to end the draft were traded. Crazy.
Bills just kept trading back.
You love to see the chaos.
Just, stockpiling.
Yeah, Brandon Beane will not take a wide receiver here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and start with the top. I mean, Fernando Mendoza, I guess I don't know really how much needs to be said. This has been kind of talked about it a bit, but either one of you just holding out, maybe they trade out of that pick and they do some stockpiling of picks, because some of my older Raider fans, they seem to be like, hey, we've seen this before. I'm not getting too excited yet. Not yet.
I would say the reports coming out of the draft a couple hours before this selection was that the Raiders wanted Kirk Cousins to start the whole season. That's what Rappaport came out and said. So the selection here is less about just Mendoza being selected and more so about how many games is Mendoza going to play, because it's going to be very hard to keep the number 1 overall pick off the field, and especially if Kirk Cousins is not as good as he used to be. There's going to be a lot of pounding the table for Mendoza, but are the Raiders going to be disciplined enough to keep him on the bench and allow him to develop without the pressure of being a starter in the NFL in year 1? That's going to determine whether or not Mendoza and this entire organization is going to be successful, is whether or not the Raiders are going to be disciplined enough to keep him on the bench.
Yeah, Brennan, I think you've got him for 4 or 6 games somewhere in there that you think we're going to get Kirk?
I think it's similar to the Giants situation last year, right? They're going to obviously go with, they're going to go with Kirk Cousins, and if, the wheels fall off, they're going to obviously start him. I think it's kind of interesting. I didn't know like Mendoza doesn't really take a lot of snaps under center. That's kind of Clint Kubiak's whole system is under center. So like I think it's going to be a learning curve for him as well.
That'll be interesting to see kind of how that plays out if we get any action there with the preseason. Let's head down the board though. Let's talk about some of the where the meat and potatoes really start here. Pick number 3, man. Pick number 3. I thought we were going to see a trade up, but no. The Cardinals, after stockpiling running backs all offseason and retaining so many guys, they go out and get Jeremiah freaking Love here at pick number 3. Restructured James Conner. Trey Benson, still waiting for that breakout. Tyler Algier, God, I really thought we were going to get some magic and a great landing spot from him. But no, he went to the Cardinals. So, like, fellas, how... It's still 101 in Dynasty, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is one of the worst places you could go from a fantasy perspective, just because, like, obviously, it would have been exciting to the Titans. The Giants might have been a little bit better, but like going here with Tyler Algier, now like I think Tyler Algier is going to sneak in some touchdowns. I think Trey Benson's just afterthought, maybe a possible cut from this team. When I saw Jeremiah Love go, I was just like, wow, this is what a bad franchise does. They just continuously keep doing bad things.
Oh man.
Bad teams stay bad, and that's what Arizona. You thought that they were going to get a refresh with the new head coach after letting go of Jonathan Gannon, but I do my projections with like average team as the team projection before I fill it in, so that I can compare like how that landing spot would impact. And Jeremiah Love I had at running back 8 in the projections. He moves down to 9, but I think the landing spot for Jeremiah Love in Arizona eliminates the possibility of RB1 overall for year 1. I think that is now off the table. You have some offensive pieces, which are nice. You have McBride, you have Wilson, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. You have major questions at quarterback of whether Jacoby Brissett was just playing well because he can play well in that particular structure, or he can play well because it was garbage time. Jury's still out. Like we don't know, but what we do know is that this team is not a running back away from being a playoff contender. So Jeremiah Love is still going to get a lot of the touches. I don't think it's going to be Ashton Genty level of touches, like how we saw Genty get the number 2 like opportunity share in the NFL last year. But we will see. I have Love projected for 66% of the rushes and a 9% target share. And I think that that's appropriate and going to secure him as a top 10 back. I don't think the ceiling exists, though, for Love to access RB1 overall.
Yeah, if he does that, he's doing it on the back of the fact that he plays a full set of the season. And as we usually see, enough running backs kind of get hurt to kind of push guys that should be RB16 to maybe RB12. So, like, I could see him getting it, but I could see it being a lot closer to, like, last season, Ashton Genty, 23% of his games, he finished in the top 12. Despite his finish where it was, you weren't happy on a consistency basis. So I think it would be more something like that where you're just not overall happy spending top 12 draft or top 12 running back draft capital on the guy. Moving on down the board, we've got Carnell Tate going to the Titans, man. I had the Titans trading back into the first round to get a wide receiver. They needed to address this. I'm so glad that they did. I didn't see this happening. I did not see this happening just because Love, man. You were supposed to fall to 4. But Carnell Tate's going here. I think this is by far, like, this is my wide receiver 1 in this rookie class right now. So, like, I've seen other debates where he's been at, like, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. I mean, not that it's a huge discrepancy, but, folks, we're talking about rookie drafts starting 24 hours in most cases. But, fellas, how we feeling about Carnell Tate here going to the Titans?
I like it. I like it a ton. I was actually like really happy. I saw some like negative things. People were just like, "Oh, this is who do they take again? Like the 4th overall, the wide receiver is Davis from like Western Michigan."
Corey Davis.
Yeah, they took him, and they were like, they're like, "Oh, is this Corey Davis all over again?" I don't think so. I think Carnell Tate's going to be a really good receiver. I think him and Brian Dable are going to mesh well. I think having Wan'Dale Robinson is going to help a lot. He's my wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. I would take him 102. I'd have no issue doing that, depending on what your league standing or if it's a super flex or whatever. But no, I really like this pick a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a panic pick. Let's be honest. It was a panic pick. I think that he was not like expected to be the pick here because the expectation was Jeremiah Love was going to be there at 4. So many mocks were having Arvell Reese, who went 5 to the Giants, go at number 3 or number 2 to the New York Jets. But Carnell Tate landing here, it didn't matter who it was. The Titans needed an offensive playmaker, and Tate fits that mold. He can easily slot in as the wide receiver 1, even if he doesn't have as many targets as Wan'Dale. He can win down the field. He can get the touchdowns. He is a piece that the Titans were missing from last year. The Titans had nothing. Now, I think the only question I have that would impact him significantly is how confident are we that Robert Saleh is actually like a good coach?
That's why they're co-coaches. You got Brian Dable running one side, you got Saleh running the other side. Co-coaches. It always works well when you've got 2 leaders put in there.
You know what they say, when you have 2 leaders, you have a bottle.
You have 3. Oh. We had different analogies coming from Grandpa. But no, like honestly, I think it's great that, like you said, it feels like a reach, but I feel like it's the right reach to make. While you have question marks on Lemon, can he play out of the slot? All of the things with him, and then you've also got all of the things, the few items we nitpick there with Lemon. Same with Jordan Tyson. He was my favorite wide receiver in this class, but yeah, you can't ignore the injury thing. So taking Tate, I think he has the lowest overall. I don't think he has a chance to finish as the wide receiver 1 overall in a season in his career, but I think Tyson and Lemon do. But I think Tate has a higher chance of being a consistent, higher overall finisher for the Titans in that situation. So I think it's like a glove. It fits well.
Yeah, I don't view him as like a perennial wide receiver 1. I think he's going to be a solid wide receiver 2, 3 for his career. Like how we thought like Emeka was like a Robert Woods. I kind of view it the same way. I think he's going to be a career-long NFL wide receiver. I don't know if he'll have spikes of like finishing as like a top 12 season, but I just think for dynasty purposes and for redraft purposes, I'm excited to take him though.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move on down here. We had the Chiefs trade up. They took a cornerback there at number 6. Sonny Styles goes at 7. Jordan Tyson back in the fantasy world. Is this just an approach of we're going to have 2 injury-prone wide receivers, and this should guarantee at least one's ready to play? But Jordan Tyson going down there to play with Shuck and folks. I was trying to work something else there. It didn't work. But how are we feeling with Tyson? Because, like I said, this was my favorite wide receiver in this class.
I think it's great. I think this is, again, a chips-in move for Kellen Moore. Year 1, you got Shuck. He's figuring out life. There were a couple Spencer Rattler starts that happened last year. And, Kellen Moore, we can have confidence in him as a coach and his game plan and what he wants to do. And so you have Chris Olave, who for most of the season was leading the NFL in targets. You also have Juwan Johnson there, who can play ball, and Travis Achan, who they made a priority signing this offseason. The Saints offense is coming together. There's a lot of pieces, and it doesn't matter what happens with Alvin Kamara. I've almost zeroed him out of my projections for the Saints because he's going to be an afterthought. Jordan Tyson is the future. Travis Achan is the future. That's so weird to still say. Chris Olave is the future. And this is Kellen Moore's world, and we're just living in it.
I think this is Tyler Shuck's world, man. I think he's going to the moon. He played so well last year. Now you're giving him another like real threat at wide receiver alongside of Olave. Where do you, 103, like right after Carnell Tate? Like that's probably where I have him at. I'm super excited for him as well. Like I think the Saints knocked it out of the park with this pick. I think it was, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is the correct pick to make. So the Giants passed up on him. I thought the Chiefs traded up. I was like, well, are they going to really go for Jordan Tyson? They got cornerback, and then the Commanders. I was like, all right, like it's either Sonny Styles or they go Jordan Tyson. And nope, the Saints just kind of sat there and waited and played the game. And I think Mickey Loomis just lucked into a really good pick.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what's funny is I try to tell myself every year I feel like I'm pretty disciplined with the whole like week before whatever news you hear, just block it out. And of course, I think it was like 3 days ago they came out saying, or the Saints came out saying, "Hey, we're not taking a wide receiver in round 1. We're going to wait till day 2. There's plenty of." I'm like, "Oh, perfect. That makes such great sense. I'm going to take them, scratch them off my predictions board of taking a wide receiver, and then look what they did. Look what happened there." No, I love the situation for Shuck. How high are y'all taking him this year? I'm going to go pull up underdog best ball rankings right now, but best ball's down right now, folks.
I think
that's crazy.
This makes him viable. I think this makes Tyler Shuck a viable top 18. Like, I want to get exposure to him. We're not going to go crazy. Like, this is not. Olave is good. Tyson is good, but Tyler Shuck, I'm not there yet. He would need to throw a lot of touchdowns to get there. And with Travis Etienne still there at the goal line, I'm not convinced of like, I'm willing to get exposure. I'm not willing to like drive up his ADP though.
Alrighty,
you
Bradley.
need not have a 90% exposure of Deshaun Watson? Crazy.
Wait, who's exposing themselves to Deshaun Watson?
Oh, it's me. I take him every single time in the last end of the pick. Like he was just, it's a great pick.
It's horrible. It's so bad. We have to do it on the stream. It's rough. But Bradley, we're going to play a little game with this here that we like to call. We've used that like one time ever. I haven't
seen that in so long.
A game that we haven't played in a while that we like to.
We play it pretty often. I just always forget to drop the video graphic. Mm-hmm. But all right, Tyler Shuck or Kyler Murray for 2026.
Kyler.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler Shuck or Sam Darnold 2026.
Shuck.
CJ Stroud or Shuck. Jordan Love or Shuck.
Love. And pay no attention to all of the Green Bay Packers things.
Yeah, okay, hold on.
Pay no attention. That one. Pay no attention to anything behind me. There's nothing. No, there's no bias.
I think I'd take Shuck in that situation. Shuck over Love.
I
think the week to week upside, I think it would be higher. Baker Mayfield.
I think Shuck.
Oh, I knew I'd get one of you. I don't know. It's a coin flip for me.
It's close. Yeah, it's really close.
All right.
I don't think it's particularly close. I think it's clearly Mayfield by a long shot. The weapons are just that strong. Baker has proven that he's been good for fantasy for a long time. I don't know, guys. I'm taking a strong stand here.
I think it's going to be interesting when we get. I mean, I'll start ironing out rankings over the next week or so. Yeah. But I think those two are going to be a lot closer than. I don't know. It's crazy stuff. But Shuck, either way, stock has gone up regardless with the addition of Jordan Tyson. Browns fans, look, we feel for you. We're rooting for you there, Cleveland. You took a tackle. Let's go.
You did the right thing. You did the right thing.
Yep.
They had a good draft. I actually like their draft.
Giants.
How about Andrew Berry actually doing his job?
Yeah.
It's about time. Giants as well, 2 top 10 picks, and you did the right thing. Trenches on either side, so boring, but we applaud you.
I cannot believe they didn't take Caleb Downs. Like, that was my biggest, like, kind of surprise. I was like, oh, I feel like that would have really, like,
the fact that Downs falls to the Cowboys. I feel like it's like the Micah Parsons, CD Lamb. Some of the best picks they've had in years have just fallen in their lap.
I know.
Oh, man. All right. So after that, Dolphins again. My wife's a Dolphins fan, and I had to tell her, I'm like, look, what you had right there was a boring freaking draft. That's a good draft in my books. You did it right. You didn't take a wide receiver. We don't even need to flirt with the idea of fantasy points in Miami. But they took a lineman. They took a corner. Love their draft. Here it is, though. We open it up a little bit with this. Ty Simpson, number 13. to the Rams, man. Look, it was mocked quite a bit. I know Talking McShay, one of the big ones I listened to, was mocking it quite a bit, and I'm like, this is we're getting cute, and he also had Tyler Shuck going early last year, so like maybe I'm finding myself doubting when I shouldn't, but like, how high do we take Ty Simpson in Superflex rookie draft? That's my biggest question here.
110, like
Really?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's an investment asset that could turn into a starter from this year's class. And you get a starting quarterback in your Superflex drafts at the 110. That's rare.
Yeah.
And yes, you have to wait, but like he was handpicked by the Rams. Like there's certain organizations that you do trust to develop players and like hit on players. The Lions are one of them. The Rams are one of the Seahawks. Like there's certain teams that if they make an interesting eyebrow raising selection, they probably have something going on. So I'll talk more.
I will say it's just weird that like Sean McVay just looked pissed though. Like
he did, man. He did not look
was,
thrilled. Maybe he wasn't.
Dude, and then you hear like the phone call of like Tyson's like, let's go make history, and McVay's like, yeah, no, we're gonna do great things, man. Like he's just so pissed with this pick.
But the idea of being tied to the Rams, being tied to Sean McVay, being tied to Puka, like there's a lot of, I guess for me, it's two different sides of the coin with the approach in Dynasty. Are you looking to compete this year or next year, or are you rebuilding through at least 1, if not 2 years? I think that's where it's drastically. Like, I think I'd be willing to take him around 106 if I am just a straight rebuilding team. Like, if I have no aspirations to compete in 2026, I think I'd much rather have him than, like, KC Concepcion. You know, like, guys that are going to be going in that range. I don't know. It's hope and excitement. Like, how long is Stafford going to continue playing?
That's what everyone thought about Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. When Love was selected at the end of the first round, yes, this is higher draft capital, don't get me wrong, but you had Aaron Rodgers, who then put up 2 consecutive MVP seasons after the Love pick.
He's also a vindictive son of a bitch. I don't see Stafford doing that.
True. It was a different situation. They didn't call Rodgers. They did call Stafford in advance. Like, they were clearly letting him. I mean, there was conversation of whether Stafford would be retiring this offseason coming off of the MVP year. And Stetson Bennett is an extremely uninspiring selection. You also have going on in the background from a team building perspective, Jimmy Garoppolo going to retire. Like, you don't have people that you've either developed or plan to develop behind you. Stetson Bennett hasn't taken a snap. Didn't he go to rehab for an entire year? Like,
he had
the reality is he's not even been in the building to learn how things are. So they need a guy who can just sit and wait and see. That's what happened with Mahomes. And this was actually, I think, closer to the draft capital equivalent of the Mahomes selection than the Jordan Love selection. Either way, you have these guys who sit for the entire year plus, and you see them develop, and you see them just explode when their time is right. And this is what, like, good teams continue to do. Like, the franchise of the Rams is planning long term so that they aren't going to be drafting at the 104 again. They aren't going to be drafting at the 110. The Les Snead came out and said this is the highest that we've ever drafted in the last 10 years. So yeah, we're not going to have access to this type of player.
To be fair, they should have been drafting in the top 10 one of those years. They just gave away that pick to the Lions.
Got Jahmyr Gibbs out of it.
True. Nevertheless, that's the logic of why these good teams continue to stay good for a long time, is because you have succession plans in place, and you have guys who are bought into the system. They know the coaching, they know the schemes, they know the like. Ty Simpson is going to throw some passes this offseason to Puka Nacua. even if he's not going to get the starts. Like, you know that Stafford's going to rest and relax, and his back, if he throws out one disc, he's done. You know, like, that's the reality. So you have to have someone behind Stafford here. So I know there's a lot of hate from the Rams right now, like the Rams fans. This was the right move.
It does feel weird that they took the Falcons pick and pulled a Falcons move with that Falcons pick, if we're being honest. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, only if Ty Simpson goes to jail, you know, then that's the Falcons pick. So.
Ooh. Alrighty. Let's slide on down the list here. I mean, not an IDP show, folks. Not yet, unfortunately. But Ruben Bain falling to 15 to the Buccaneers.
Yeah. What a steal.
Whew. But we're going to go to 16. We're going to talk Kenyon Sadiq from
R.I.P.
Oregon.
Taylor.
Tight end. Yeah, how you feeling about that, Brendan? Sadiq, you were not enamored by the showing there at the Combine.
The Jets just aren't a competent franchise, so like that's just off the rip. Like, to start off with, like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of him, and like, you know, I get Frank Reich's calling the play calls, but like Mason Taylor wasn't bad by any stretch. So I was thinking like, all right, they'll still boost the defense. Like, you lost Sauce, like you lost Williams. So I'm thinking like, all right, they'll heavily invest in the defense and then try to figure out what the offensive needs. The pick just really didn't make sense. Like, I don't think they needed a tight end. They needed other things, and it was. You know, I was like, oh, Mason Taylor might be a little bit sneaky next year. Now I want nothing to do with this offense as a whole this year, to be honest with you. I mean, besides Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, but that's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
So with this pick, they were talking about the Jets after the first round came out and said, like, we were considering Omar Cooper at this pick. We decided to go Kenyon Sadiq, and I ran the projections through, and Sadiq, and we'll get to Cooper in a little bit, but neither of them moved in up or down, which was very interesting to me. Usually you see like guys move up or down, but they stayed exactly the same. And I think that's because the projections take a couple things into account. One is pass volume, which is going to be there for the Jets. They're going to be behind. They're going to be a bad team. They're going to have to try to play catch up. And Geno Smith is capable of throwing the ball down the field. We've seen that multiple years when he was in Seattle. However, the projections also take into account the possible disaster that led to the Raiders being the number 1 overall selection and Geno Smith being the quarterback of that team, leading the NFL in interceptions. Right, exactly. So you have it's essentially the projections take into the hedge of both volume, it will probably be good, but probably for the wrong reasons. And so you have like a very scary floor for Sadiq and for Omar Cooper. We'll get more into Cooper in a little bit, but this is a different position though than Mason Taylor. This is a different type of tight end than Taylor. The coaching staff seems to like Taylor as a player, but you could feel almost a reminiscence of Brock Bowers being selected after Michael Mayer was selected the year earlier with the Raiders, right? There's definitely some recall historically that hasn't turned out great for Michael Mayer. It won't turn out great for Mason Taylor, and even Bowers had a great rookie year, but things were not good structurally with the Raiders, and things are going to continue to be, Brennan, you mentioned that the Jets are bad, right? They're going to continue to be bad. So, yeah.
I'd love to see Michael Mayer get traded today.
Please, free Michael Mayer. Free him.
Yeah, Kenyon Sadiq, it's an interesting situation. We've seen Frank Reich showcase some tight ends a couple times where he's had some top end tight end seasons, but I don't know if this is going to be a top end kind of offense. So either way, Kenyon Sadiq, I see him being the traditional rookie tight end where it takes a few years to get them up and acclimated because as athletically rounded as he is, he doesn't do a lot of things great. So he's got some opportunities there, but 12 personnel, we'll see how that plays out. Linemen to the Lions. I mean, tackle's going to Minnesota. This could be a huge pick for them. I really thought they were going to go safety. Tackle go to the Panthers. And folks, I'm sure you've seen the video. Mekhi Lemon got the call from the Steelers. Hang on, McCarthy. I got to go because I just got traded up for. Yeah, Eagles moving up 3 spots, jumping the Steelers to grab Mekhi Lemon. A.J. Brown, he is signed, sealed, delivered to New England.
Wouldn't it be wild if AJ Brown did not get traded to New England just to spite Mike Vrabel? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
God. At this point, we need it to happen just for Diana. She needs a little
do it for Diana.
A little save in there. But Brennen, Mekhi Lemon, how are we feeling about this landing spot here in Philly?
Yeah, I think it's great that the top 3 receivers didn't go to the Browns with the Jets. So that's always a great celebration for everybody. I mean, almost identical measurements to Jalen Reagor. No, I think he's going to be good. Again, AJ Brown's going to be gone. I think this just boosts Devonta Smith. I like him a lot more than anybody out of all of this being drafted. I think Mekhi Lemon's going to be good. He runs his routes a lot over the middle, so that'll be interesting for Jalen Hurts since he doesn't like to throw the ball over the middle. I mean, that's really what it comes down to is how does this new offense look? I mean, for me, again, I'll say I'm Devonta Smith's draft stock is going to rise tremendously from all of this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. The best ball exposure is it's going to go quickly here. It's going to go quickly. Bradley, you loving this spot here, or could it have been better?
I have a pretty nuanced take to this. I think year one, it's not great for Mekhi Lemon from a couple perspectives. Like, we assume AJ Brown shift off to wherever he's going to go to, but Devonta Smith, wide receiver 1, clearly on the team. Are we confident that in year one, Mekhi Lemon, who's primarily a slot, can push out Dallas Goedert? I'm not from a target share perspective, I'm not confident in that. Goddard has always been like a 16 to 20% target share type of player. Mekhi Lemon, I think it's more likely that in year one he puts up a Luther Burden stat line than Zay Flowers rookie year stat line. Now, the other component here is how much do we trust that Jalen Hurts is the future quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles after 2026? If the answer is, I'm not that confident, I don't think that he might be might be a good quarterback in this new system, that's a possibility, then they may get a different quarterback at that spot, which would be a better scheme fit for Mekhi Lemon. And Dallas Goedert obviously gone. He's probably going to be gone after 26, but that will unlock Lemon in 27. This might be the cheapest that Mekhi Lemon will ever be in your rookie dynasty drafts. So one of the things that I'm very interested in is to see how far Mekhi Lemon would fall, given that in year one, not only is Devonta Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, but also that the Philadelphia Eagles passing volume pie is one of the smallest in the NFL. So he's not going to get a lot of targets, even if he does earn a decent enough target share. There's a lot of pathways that Mekhi Lemon needs to take for success, and a very wide pathway for failure for year one, Mekhi Lemon.
That's the biggest kind of where my feelings are with it too. Goddard did it last year on the back of his double-digit touchdowns. That's why he stayed so viable. So I don't think it matters if Mekhi Lemon is second or third as far as target share, because if this offense runs well, if this team is moving right, the ball is moving through Saquon Barkley. Devonta Smith will have, a great showing as a wide receiver 1, but that's all they can really afford to focus on as far as fantasy points coming out there on a consistent basis, would be Devonta Smith. So Overall, I think it's great for their future. I think it's a good pick for them, good for the offense. But as far as fantasy, Mekhi Lemon, I don't imagine it's going to be one I click on a whole lot outside of like best ball.
I agree.
But rumor mill's moving, man. There could be a good handful of quarterbacks going here on day 2 in rounds 2 and round 3, and we've seen it before. Eagles were a fine-tuned moving machine. They had a quarterback that they had signed looking great, and all of a sudden they grabbed this guy in the second round. Just a backup. That's all he is. No need to worry. He's just a backup. Yeah, took over the team, took him to a couple of Super Bowls, and won it for him. So your boy Carson Beck there, Brennen, might be going to, could be going tonight at some point. Nussmeier's got some love in there too. And of course,
Gross.
the two Taylon Green and Cole Payton, the two mobile guys. Who doesn't love a good athletic quarterback? Alrighty. We've got a tackle going to the Steelers because they missed out on Mekhi Lemon. We've got edge going to the Chargers, edge going to the Cowboys.
You know that Edge is 25 years old for the Chargers, by the way. So when he gets his second contract, he'll be 30.
When? You mean if?
Yes, true.
Dang, I didn't realize he was that old. Miami had quite a few old guys. But here it is, pick number 24. This, folks, we don't have to blame the Browns for this one. We blame the Jags. The Jags gave them this pick. They are the reasons that they had the opportunity to take Casey Concepcion right here, our 4th wide receiver off the board. I don't hate it. I like it more for football, I think, than fantasy. Just over the next couple of years, I don't know how consistent we can get work from him.
I'll have zero exposure of him probably in a lot of, or like any best ball or dynasty. I'm just not a fan of him. Obviously going to the Browns, like you're going to be waiting for maybe 2027 when they draft a quarterback again, hoping that quarterback's good and hoping he has a connection with Casey Concept. It's a revolving door with the Browns as always. And I just want no part of it.
Interesting. I see all the Browns need to do to get right is have Deshaun Watson hit. That is it. Like,
They've been saying
I know
that for 5 years, man.
That's why I've been drafting
know.
in the 20th round.
But Brennan, like, if you're drafted in the 20th round, take Casey Concepcion. Like, fit the narrative. Stay true to it. That's what you need to do. The pathway for failure is only the quarterback play. The opportunity is there for Casey Concepcion. He was an early declare. He is a good wide receiver, 1st round draft capital. Like, clearly there's a lot of things that are going right for this. Deshaun Watson, maybe it was a scheme thing with Kevin Stefanski and Todd Monken. Like, a fresh start is what that offense needs. Concepcion fits like the Zay Flowers role very well. So I'm here for a Casey Concepcion, like Stephon Diggs type, Zay Flowers type, Antonio Brown type. Like, that's, I want to be drafting a lot, especially if the market is going to be reacting in the way that you said, Brennan. Like, if the market is saying this is a bad landing spot, I think the only reason to be concerned is the quarterback play. So if that actually does go right, this is a massive, massive hit.
I think that he could be the wide receiver 2 in 2026, like the rookie wide receiver 2 out of this class for 2026. But when I look at his 2 to 3 year window, as most people do for Dynasty, that's where I don't see him finishing as the wide receiver 2 there. I see a lot of these other guys having better opportunities moving forward with that. So, like, I didn't hate the talent. I guess I was like middle of the pack, middle of the road when it came to like him as a prospect. But I think it's going to be more fun for the NFL and for the team than it actually is for fantasy. Like, Harold Fan's the one, man. Come on.
Harold Fan's the
Dudley
dude
out there.
He's super talented. Don't get me wrong. It's just the dropping the football is also a concern. And I know there's data that shows there's, it can transition well for some guys. It's just, if you're having problems catching the football in college, I'm going to lean with there might be problems catching the football in the NFL too.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Where he goes, does that draft cost go up for him any bit? Thieneman, we had a safety go to the Bears. Tons of talk that they could be trading in and around this pick here in the first round? No, they didn't do anything. Sat still, took a safety. Great draft for him. I thought it was a good pick. We've got finally, Houston Texans taking a lineman, everybody. This line's still gonna be
Shocker.
terrible, isn't it? Like, even if they take a lineman out of one of their next two picks, are you guys going to be... I guess, let me back this up a little bit, Bradley. Somebody doesn't mind having Mr. Montgomery on their team this year. I don't know if I'm buying it. Where are you at in this situation here as this offensive line continues to improve?
As CJ Stroud goes, so will the rest of the offense. Stroud has had 2 very bad seasons in a row. And look, is Rutledge going to be the needle mover? Maybe I don't think so. I think that there is something not right with CJ Stroud right now. I don't know. I think that would limit David Montgomery from being the wrecking ball that he was in Detroit for years. So, yeah, I will probably be underexposed to David Montgomery.
To be fair, I was taking him a lot in best ball where like the market hadn't reacted correctly with him going to Houston. He was still going as like RB25. Like I was like, okay, this is silly. Like I think he'll have a 4 of an RB2 type season. So like I was just, getting a lot of exposure because the market hadn't reacted yet. So.
Yeah, there's that cutoff around running back 21 and that like 22 through 30. It was a big toss up, but one he was honing in on was there, and I found myself. I think I like Swift. More than Montgomery, and Swift I believe was going 2 spots behind him.
People forget Swift had a career year last year. He put up the most fantasy points of his career, and he was being faded. And Kyle Monangai is gonna take over. Cut me a break. Like Swift has always been the superior talent. The only question has been, there's 2 questions. One, is he healthy? And if the answer is yes, he's a dog. He's a beast. He's not a dog. That's my second point. Is there concerns about his dog rating? But aside from those, his talent is among the best in the league. It's just that he hasn't been healthy. When he's healthy, he's been a dude for fantasy. And sometimes he's not a dog out there. So,
yeah, I just need them not to take a running back here in the second round. The Bears.
I don't think they will.
No, they have other needs.
I feel like they expected to have Henderson last week. Like you talk about a pivot panic pick. I feel like that's what Luther Burden was because they thought they were getting Henderson. So what else we have? Like we talked about the Dolphins. Boring draft. Took a corner right here. Great pick at 27. Lomu, the tackle, was taken here by the Patriots, and folks, not a lot of fantasy stuff here, but I got to bring up, like,
surprised that Diana Rossini didn't drop that one.
Yeah, how did she not let us all know? But like, the guy had concerns coming into the draft process with his alligator-ish arms, and funny how they draft a guy to help back up, fix the issue that they have with their other short-armed fellow on the line here. So, like, is this just something they think that they can...
Have to stay on brand here, Brian.
It's the Patriots. I just want to make fun of them, if we're being honest.
The Patriot way.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe... Never mind. I'm going to make a Vrabel joke, but we're just going to move past it. Peter Woods, defensive tackle, going to the Chiefs. And here we go. Jets. 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 That's how many times they drafted in this first round pick, or in the first round here. Omar Cooper. This offense is looking pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for the 2027 quarterback.
That's the hard part. But like
they're making the right moves for the next year. They're making the correct moves for the following
or
year.
the non-Aaron Glenn head coach.
Yes.
You know what they're going to do, though? They're going to, because they're going to end up getting the first overall pick. They're going to keep Aaron Glenn, and they're going to fire him mid-season so we can keep that trend up of the first overall quarterback losing their quarterback in his rookie season. I swear, if Aaron Glenn, look, man, I don't root for people losing their jobs, but you're going to get paid whether you're there or not. So, like, please don't be there next year when they get a rookie quarterback. Please. But Omar Cooper, how are we feeling about this one? 2026 rookie drafts overall.
I was ahead of consensus the entire like pre NFL draft process, and this landing spot doesn't like mellow me out. Again, like when I ran the projections, both Sadiq and Cooper were about even, but long term, like there was some chatter of, is Garrett Wilson gonna get traded? Like, is he more valuable as multiple picks in a future rebuild? That's a possibility. He's not quite as old as Jalen Waddle, but I mean, can you still net a lot for him? Maybe. Either way, I think what this does is it eliminates Adonai Mitchell as a late round best ball selection. Sorry,
Poor guy.
guys.
Poor
Yeah,
guy.
sorry, AD. Omar Cooper, though, clearly much later than even Lemon. Like, sorry, I keep scrolling. I have to keep scrolling through the projection. That's how bad it is for trying to find a Cooper in the projections just so late now. It's bad. It's bad for Omar Cooper. Sorry.
I think he goes like 109 to 111 range, like the end of the first for everybody's dynasty drafts. Like you're like, it's a team. It's kind of like a wait and see. It's perfect for the guy who just won the championship. Probably like exciting rookie, kind of wait and see if you have that ability or you want to trade out to a team that's kind of rebuilding. I liked his profile at Indiana. He kind of just did it all. Like he good run blocker, good hands, kind of did, he just did all the grunt work. So depending on what they have him in, I think he's going to be on the field opposite side of Garrett Wilson a lot more than like AD Mitchell. I'm excited for Cooper, just not this year. It's going to be next year. I'll when the new quarterback comes into town.
Well, you bring up a great question here. Just kidding, we won't go through it again. Then let me know.
Two times in one show. Let's go. This is great.
Dynasty Superflex. Are you taking Omar Cooper? Or are you taking Ty Simpson?
Ty Simpson.
Cooper.
All right. Kenyon Sadiq. Where does he fit in?
Cooper.
Cooper.
Yeah. Tight end premium would only be the reason why I take him ahead of Cooper, but I think it'd just be Cooper.
Okay. All right. Cool. And then to end out the draft, we've got the Titans trading back up for an edge, and then another rumor I bought into. Look at me. Maybe I buy into more of them than I thought. But Seahawks, they were trying to trade out, trying to move back from this pick 32. It's funny how all the other picks got traded above them, but this one did not. They take Jadarian Price, the other Notre Dame back there, doubling up in the first round.
I've got a sounder, Brian. I've got a sounder at the ready.
Oh boy, what do we got? Oh, is that Disney World?
Oh no, it's Cinderella.
It's Cinderella.
It's the Notre Dame fight song. Let's go.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Go Irish. Go Irish. What
there we
though
go. Now we can't
odds be
monetize
great
this.
or small?
we just
Notre
lost out on
Dame will win
monetization there.
overall, while her loyal sons are marching onward to victory.
Pretty
Well, where are they
impressive that
marching?
both running backs went though. Like Jeremiah Love, and him to go in the first round that's got to be a first, right?
No, there were
because
there've
Nick
been a
Chubb
couple.
went in the second round. Him and what's his name just barely missed it.
It was like Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams. I think there have been a couple.
That's a name I haven't heard in a minute.
Right? No kidding. Dude, I was looking at old drafts, and I think it was Ronnie Brown's year. There was like 3 running backs that went in the top 10 of that draft. I'm like, wow, we have come a long way as far as how we're drafting these players and how they look at them. But interesting situation here. So as this opens up tonight, we've got round 2. It's the 49ers who did not draft. They traded out. Oh, shoot. So we were 8 teams that didn't draft. Cardinals are pick 2, then the Bills, and then the Raiders. Some of the top names that haven't been picked up. Denzel Boston was the 6th wide receiver. Could have gone there.
I think
in
he's the
round
first one to
1.
go off the board.
I've heard that there's calls about these first 3-4 picks. Honestly, I could see him going to the Niners, to the Bills, to the Raiders. All 3 of those teams, I think he would look interesting there. It's a preference if we had to rank those 3. No, you guys just love my.
You said
Niners,
Bills, and Raiders.
Niners, Bills, Raiders. I think that's the order. The order.
Yeah, I think it's how I'd put it.
Yeah, I think the Niners. I liked KC going there. Like just his yak ability. I thought he would have been a great.
I just like
fit,
Shanahan, man. Like I just give me a part of the Shanahan system. It's just a better gamble for me.
In Boston, I think his best case scenario is that he is Mike Evans. Like that's his best shot of being a stud as far as fantasy football. Go learn from him. Minus the whole hamstring thing. Don't do that.
Oh, Darren McFadden and Felix Jones, both from Arkansas, 2008.
Okay.
Mm.
Damn. Again, though, like names, we're digging. I guess as far as running backs, quarterbacks here, any were excited to see where they land. Any players that Jeremy Bernard's still out there. He could be going here soon. I'm trying to think. Antonio Williams.
I'm interested to see which team bites on Mike Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested to see what team values his athletic profile, because there's other flags in his profile, but he's got the athleticism down. And so if you have a player, I think it'll speak to what that team wants to accomplish with that pick, because you look at who's going to be available in rounds 2 and 3 and 4, and it's pretty flat. It's a dealer's choice, like flavor of the month type of situation. So who's going to fit the scheme the best? Who is the dog on special teams? Right. And that's another reason why I think Jadarian Price had been scoffed at getting this first round draft capital, but he has amazing vision, and it's showed up not only on the tape as a running back, but even more so on special teams. So this is a player that, I Notre Dame bias aside, there were times where you couldn't tell who was on the field. Was it Price? Was it Love? And that's even the first game against Miami that they lost and was like the deciding factor for not going to try to get into the playoffs. Like that's so, as an aside, wouldn't it have been awesome to have Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love trying to win a national championship?
Oh yeah, didn't they pout and not go to their bowl game or something like that?
They did.
Nobody deserved to have our money. That's the deal. So,
it's just the luck of the Irish.
We don't want the Powder Puff Bowl to get $20 million. So
don't
disrespect
the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the Pop-Tart Bowl. That bowl is sick.
Oh man, Eli Stowers is one.
Eli Stowers to the Rams. Call it.
Oh, please don't. No, you projected Sadiq to the Rams earlier.
I know they're gonna get a tight end. They are. They're gonna take another tight end in this draft.
Bowers 2 years ago. They were trying to trade up for Bowers.
Well, that was before they took Terrence Ferguson in the second last year. No, they have plenty of tight ends. They have 4, 5? No.
I think we just need to come to realization that Sean McVay doesn't care for tight ends, and he's just going to utilize all of them, and one's not going to be fantasy relevant.
God, he's the worst.
15 personnel.
Ugh,
yes.
Stupid Sean McVay. No. Really excited to see where Stowers goes. And then there's a handful of these running backs. You brought up Washington. Emmett Johnson's one that I'd love to see him go to the Vikings. I think it would be just a great fit as far as that team needs some help at running back position. And I'm trying to think of, just quarterbacks. Do we get any other interesting landing spots? Do teams put pressure?
I don't think a quarterback goes in round 2 or 3. I think it's Garrett Nussmeier and Carson Beck. You really think they're a top 100 player?
No.
I don't. I don't know if the NFL does. But again, I don't think Ty Simpson was a top 100 player. I get the infatuation with him in some sense, but
we also had to bring Phillip Rivers out of retirement last season to get him to play. So I don't think the shortage of quarterbacks is we need to get some fellows that can toss.
I think
the rock.
Phil will be better than Garrett Nussmeier and Carson Beck still. I would.
Ooh, that's a call. That's a call.
He does have grandpa strength, so no, you can't mess with that. Oh man. All right. Well, fellas, anything else you got before we get out of here?
I wonder where Kalen Black goes. He had almost 15 top 30 visits and was off of most people's radar, but there were a couple mock drafts, like 7-round mock drafts that had him a lot higher than I think the consensus. And with a lot of the intrigue from the NFL, I don't think he's a superior player. I don't see it. But it intrigues me that the NFL is intrigued, and that's what I want to see. Could he get a landing spot similar to like RJ Harvey from last year, where you're not comfortable with the profile? He's older, some things are just not right, but the landing spot is just like, why? I could
the Broncos. I could see that the Broncos are taking somebody. They're gonna take somebody. Like, I would not be surprised if they.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I can see the Bengals taking a running back too.
Yeah. Chase Brown. They can't extend Chase Brown. Like, they just cannot. I just don't see. They cannot afford to pay T. Higgins and Jamar and Joe. And, I mean, who are they paying on the defense? So maybe they can. But, like, come on.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, they're paying Dexter Lawrence.
Goodness. It's insane. They got a, what's his name? The cornerback. They're going to have to pay him here soon. But ridiculousness. Folks, hope you're hanging out with us here. More on the Fantasy Football Advice Network. We've got a live stream starting an hour before kickoff, I believe. Maybe it's right at kickoff. Either way, there's live streams going all night. It's literally going through rounds 2, round 3, and then we've got From the Forum later going on. Brennen and I will be on the Too Much Fantasy Football YouTube. Well, we'll be live at some point this weekend. You know, we'll fill in the gaps here, but make sure you're all over here at Fantasy Football Advice Network. Sellout crowds. We've got it rocking and rolling. Everybody's popping in because Twitter just isn't working for us, right? We've got to find somewhere better to go. Fellas, you guys just got anything else before we get out of here?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And 7 p.m. Eastern, shorter clocks. Last reaction. How'd you guys feel about the 8-minute clocks instead of 10?
I liked it. I did actually like it. It's just weird that if you go on Twitter though, it ruins it for you because it gets announced. So like, I was at the bar and I was like, I can't check my phone because if I check my phone, it's going to get announced beforehand. So
that's probably my biggest complaint there. Yeah, it's the fact that they fell behind. Love the 8 minutes. I went to bed earlier than I have on a draft night. It was great. It was great. Yeah. Freaking 2 minutes across 32 teams. It was amazing.
East Coast dads were very appreciative.
Yeah. Nobody likes staying up late, folks. Nobody. Not even you young ones, if any of y'all even listen. But thanks for listening. Appreciate y'all being here. This was awesome. It's great. We've got a great time ahead of us. Rookie draft starting soon. Make sure you're on the network over there. Sellout crowds helping you all win your drafts. If you can win a rookie draft.
Peace. Later.